What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Lamar's Gym Custom Live Show, the number 3 podcast. You gotta forgive me. I got two or three things going on at one time. I got up, I would say, you know what? Let me do a live. Let me do a live show. But thing is, y'all, I listen on YouTube, on Rumble, they have live buttons. I think on Twitter and Facebook you can go live. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what the hell I'm doing if I did go live. I, do you have to have a streaming service, or is that platform your streaming service? I don't get it. I don't understand. Um, I got, like I said, I got three different things going on right now. I said, you know what, I could do this. I chickened out. I chickened out. I am gonna try to get multiple shows in today. I just came up with a bright idea. My wife bought some meat. Back about a month ago. It's been in the freezer. She bought it for a specific thing. To add that meat to a vegetable. Didn't happen, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I gotta clean my freezer out, so I say, you know what? Let me put some pecan wood in the grill, and I'm gonna slow cook these bastards. So that's what I'm gonna do. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna do a couple of shows today, y'all. Welcome again. I appreciate you stopping by. Um, this is nothing critical to the news algorithm. I just want to bring this up because it makes me sick. I've had a couple of conversations over the past couple of weeks with some folks, and in their professions, they deal with men. And I asked one of them, I said, do you come across a bunch of, soy boys, pink padding wearing, toe touching folks? And he said, surprisingly, yeah. Surprisingly, yeah. That got me to thinking. Because after I talked to this one individual, I went back up in my office and I was looking at a daily podcast that I watch. And I give you the name of it. It's the Vince Everett Ellison Show. And, he's promoting his new documentary, Slave is a Choice. So within this promotion, he has a piece from Ricky Smiley and one or two other slave-minded folks. But I've heard this from Ricky Smiley before. I've heard this piece from him before. But, listen to this daily podcast from Mr. Ellison. I hear it every day now. And it makes me more and more and more and more sick every time I hear it. So, apparently, it may have been a year ago or 6 months ago. You got Ricky Smiley. If you don't know who Ricky Smiley is, he's a faggot ass comedian. Unfortunately, from my state of Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. Um, his early stick. He was a Q Dog out of Miles College, and I think all that's true. I think he appeared in one cheesy ass movie. Friday, the third Friday. I think Cat Williams was in it. I want to say I didn't watch that Friday. I think he was in it. Anyway, he may have starred in one or two movies. Well, not started, but had participation in one or two movies. I know he has been in a lot of stand up. He's not that Steve Harvey, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy type comedian. He's a low level, Shaq in the Woods type comedian. But unfortunately, over the past, I want to say 5, maybe 7 years, the two radio stations when it comes to urban R&B music, the two radio stations that has all the power comes out of Birmingham, and it's 98.7 Kiss and 107.7. I enjoy both radio stations, but you got to understand the demographics they target plantation minded folk. So in the morning they have the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I ain't got no problem with the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. I have a problem with Rickey Smiley. In the evening they got the I can't think of the other comedian out of California. He's even more egregious than Rickey Smiley, and I'll think of his name here in a minute. When I do, I'll blurt it out. They now 107.7's got his afternoon show on the drive home. And I got to thinking, man, God bless these folks. You gotta go to work on Rickey Smiley and come home to this idiot. I almost got it. I'm gonna get it. And I remember back when my father-in-law passed away, been about 2 or 3 years. I was out in Montgomery, and their biggest urban R&B hip hop radio station, they got the Breakfast Club, and I got to thinking, and I ain't got away from without the original point of Rickey Smiley, but when I got to thinking, God bless these folks. They got to listen to these individuals that are bought and paid for, puppets. What is the alternative? Well, like me, I about 10, 15 years ago, I started deep diving off into 70s and 80s rock, classic rock. Now, I've always loved country. I've always loved R&B. I've always loved rock. But the classic rock, like Sweet Home Alabama, I've never been into that. So I started deep diving into it a little bit, and you know what? That was some good music. It's classic rock, but you also have contemporary artists that's also, I guess they clumped in under the same regimen. But before I get too far off from the Rickey Smiley thing, let me go back a little bit. So, doing the introduction and put the promotion of his documentary, Mr. Ellison, you got Rickey Smiley. He's somewhere 2-3 years ago. He's somewhere in the closet somewhere. I'm scared. Scared. And I'm like, this has got to be one of the saddest black men on the face of the earth. And once you say that, you hear and see another one. You hear and see another one. You hear and see another one. Now, Rickey Smiley has a bully platform. He has a large platform. Like I said earlier, when it comes to the radio station, the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, he has a loud voice, can reach millions and millions of people. D.L. Hughley, that's the other guy. People have to drive home to D.L. Hughley. Thank you, Jesus. And this is my point. All of these folks are the same. They happen to be black men. They're puppets for the Democratic Party. They're bought and paid for. But they have that bully platform. They have that megaphone that can reach millions and millions of people. And this is the part about it that the reason I said, you got Rickey Smiley talking about, I'm scared. You're going to have another one and another one and another one because they listening to this man. They listening to D.L. Hughley. So they going to have the same mindset. I heard something earlier, and I think this was on the Glenn Beck show, about the FCC was looking into The View and Jimmy Kimmel. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. Because these shows are not considered news shows. They're entertainment One's a comedian. Well, Whoopi Goldberg's a comedian too, and I think that ugly white woman that's with her, she was a comedian too. I don't know. But these are not news programs. And it's something in the FCC that happened back in the Reagan days where you have to have a fair balance. You have to have an idiot over here on the left talking his nonsense and someone on the right and maybe an independent in the middle. You have to have a fair balance. Neither one of these entities have a fair balance. So when you listen to the radio, the FCC governs the radio and the airways. Is it true there? Now I think when Ricky Smiley did his little garbage, that was I think that was on his own, his own time, his own little whatever social media thing. But still, D.L. Hughley don't hold back. They have these egregious guests that are bought and paid for puppets. And it's no fair balance. Now, honestly, I can care less because I listen to 107, 98.7, and I listen to 107.7. I don't listen to them at the times that these individuals are having the shows. I refuse. I should listen to them at all and find another radio station. But I do love my R&B just like I love my country and my rock and everything else. So these are the two alternatives in the area that I get a clean signal. Now, you got millions of radio stations, millions. But to get a clean, uninterrupted, no static, no interruption, signal, 98.7 and 107.7 in my area, Northeast Alabama, out of Birmingham. Now, there's a 107.9, I want to say, out of Atlanta. On the way to work, I can pick it up. But, they going to have I think they got the Breakfast Club. I want to say. Them in Montgomery, for some reason, got the Breakfast Club, which I refuse to listen to that. That's probably worse than, watching The View. But, yeah, I just want to... Did I finish my thought about the Ricky Smiley and D.L. Hughley? Yeah, I finished that. So I'm going to end it with just the Ricky Smiley take. He's from Alabama. He's a comedian. He's done a lot of things, for, I don't know who, not me. He don't represent me, but unfortunately this guy is from Alabama. And he's sad. He's a sad case. I told you in the previous podcast, I'm to the point where I'm going to slam these individuals and then I'm going to be nice and pray for them. Because I think that's what Jesus wants us to do. To pray for the mentally ill and these crazy folks. So say a prayer for him, man. He wants that money, so he'll never get off that Democratic plantation. As long as they can keep him as a puppet, him and D.L. Hughley, they're going to be on that plantation. Because there's nowhere in the world that they believe half the crap that they say. But then again, I don't know about Ricky Smiley, but D.L. Hughley, if you know anything about him, I think he believes it. He believes it in his heart. He's from Compton, California. So he believes all that crap with all his heart and his soul. I believe it. I believe that he believes it. But anyway, let me get up out of here. I'm going to get all my equipment. I'm going to keep it going. And I'm going to try to get a couple more shows in today. I got my computer set up for news and the happenings, what's going on in the world. I got my TV / I guess it's a TV, it's damn near like a robot, set up for news. I think you got the summit that's happening in China. President Trump is on his way to China and they're going to have this big summit. And surprisingly, you got 17, 18 of the world's top business figures, Elon Musk and airline, oh my goodness, BlackRock. So all these multi-trillion-dollar companies on the planet, you got 17 of them that's headed to China with President Trump, and they're gonna have like an economic forum, I guess you could say. But I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on that, be keeping my eyes on this, And I promise I'm going to be keeping my eyes on you because I love you and I appreciate you. And as always, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, you guys stay blessed. Keep him first. And I'll see you next time.